Hello everyone, welcome to SAP Simple Logistics online training. Today's demo session is brought to you by Global Online Trainings. And next voice, what you hear is our consultant voice. Please go ahead.
Kundan, it's not only the HANA database, but also it is having lots of changes in the it's the UI, the user interface, the screen which the user going to access on daily basis. Okay, let me share you a couple of information here, and I'll be sharing you the training content. So it is again SAP logo, or it's SAP training contents. I used to prepare the training content for SAP and also train SAP people here, and also my user trainings. Okay, let me tell you like how the logistics being simplified. So what comes to your mind when you say the simple logistics? So what do you think? I mean, the logistic is being changed, or the process is being changed to different process, or the process is being simplified to different process. It's nothing a change. It is like, as I told you, it is a change to your UI. It is a change to your table. It is a change to your database. I mean, change, when I say change, it's like some changes happen. Okay, it's not complete change. The VBAK, VBP, I mean, all this EKK, KPO will be the same. Okay, but there are some changes happen to the real time, the real table, or you can say the internal table. Okay, we'll talk about that. When you say the simple logistics, it is under the logistic only. It is the same, the logistic, the core logistic component, your sales, your material management, your procurement, your QM, your WM, your LE, everything is there. Okay, your ATP, your GATP, your all the systems. Okay, all the business scopes. Only thing is, if you look into the front end as a customer or as a consumer or as a user, so your user experience is more reliable. When you look into your ECC, I started my career in ECC, you can say 3.0 or 3.1 H, okay, 4.7, 4.6 is and 4.7, and 5.0 and 6.0 like this. Okay, so if you look into those screen and this screen, the screen variance is there. Okay, because all these things are the screen persona, you can say, or UI5, this everything will be applied into the mobility base. It's not the desktop version, it's a mobile versions. So that is the differences here.
Yeah, that's SAP Fiori we are talking about, right?
You're right, right. Yeah,
Okay.
you are very right. Yeah. So this is a mobile version, and what I believe is when you go for the implementation, let's say tomorrow you'll go for implementation or consulting experiences already you have. When you go for implementation of SAP Simple Logistic, you have two choice. You can, I mean, you are the best consultant there, so you need to understand like how the logistics been simplified and how user going to get more user experiences rather in the old desktop. Okay, they
Right.
have two options. They can choose the desktop, they can choose mobile devices, they can choose mobility, they can choose, let's say, simple desktop experiences. Okay, that is one concept. Second concept is how scalable your system. When I say scalability, when I say the performance, it is the better than the ECC 6.0, or you can say ECC 6.0, EHP 7, or EHP 4, EHP 5. Okay, and when you talk about the reporting, let's say I wanted to sell all the sales reports. Okay, why should I go for VA05? I can see some other table. Why should I go for all the purchase history reports? So I can go and get into the different transactions. So the reporting and analysis is much changed than the standard ECC. Okay,
Right.
that is one of the most important concept here in the simple logistics. Okay, let's talk about the what SAP include in this slide, because this slide I took from SAP. This is SAP slide, so I'll be sharing my own slide for this training. Okay, so what SAP took and what SAP present to the line of business. When you say line of business, so in logistics we have multiple line of business, like we have supply chain, we have sales, we have manufacturing, we have R&D engineering, we have asset management, we have services, and we have many more things. Okay, so as you see, like when I say SAP HANA S4, HANA for business, HANA S4 is divided in two segments. One is finance, other is logistics. The finance, we have financial transaction like asset accounting, GL, AR, AP, like controlling, all the things, product costing. Similarly, in the HANA simplified to business is called simple logistics. So in that case, we have all the concepts like all the business process, your sales, your your procurement, your manufacturing, your supply chain like APO. Okay, so everything, your SRM, all the component linked to here into your simple logistics. When I say simple logistics, you might be thinking having like a questions. Okay, does it have Ariba? Ariba is again different component. It's like a your SRM, more towards your SRM integration, SRM and APO. Okay, it's not like simple logistic, but yeah, obvious. It is obviously SAP has linked together into multiple components. Okay, so as you know, like HANA, we have on-premises, we have cloud editions, we have different the HANA based component. Because when I say HANA, so most of the people say HANA is a technical. Yes, of course, HANA is a technical. All this, as you've seen, like ABAP is a technical. But when ABAP comes into the functional, all the functional support, right? I need a user exit, or I need a body, or I need a BAPI, or I wanted to create my own, transactions, custom transactions. So I need to use a ABAP language, right? Similarly, so HANA is a technical. So somebody has to, make the HANA server installation and HANA, database setup, and after that the HANA will be used as into the business functions. So remember, always business function people like us, we are more demand than the technical people. I mean, it's obviously, I mean, it's like, there is no, I mean, I don't want to argue here, but my comment is, like always, the business function people are more power than the technical people, right? What we say, they have to develop this code or maybe program, maybe kind of thing. So here, you should not be master on the HANA technicals, because HANA is a technical object. So somebody has the basis, or maybe the HANA developer, then you develop based on our requirements. For example, my last projects with the oil client, so my developer, he took my requirements. So the requirement from me, what are the things need to be implemented in the simple logistic platform? I told him, okay, this thing I need. In my dashboard, I have to see only those things, not all. Okay. So based on that, so he has to develop that. So we should not learn more in the HANA technical. We should know how the HANA works in the business functions of the simple logistic. Okay. Okay. So, yeah.
Before we proceed, I had one quick question. We have the current functionality in ECC 6.0, right? So we have bodies, BAPIs, and all those concepts which we are all exposed, and we all know those things, right? So does that things also changes technically? Because when we communicate, when we provide our requirement, or want some Fiori new reports or something like that, is that going to be same, or then we need to have some technical knowledge too there on communicating with that? Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's very good questions, though you wanted to know like what are the changes happen. Yeah. I would answer you then this way. There is no changes on the technical codage.
Okay.
So the table, let's say you talk about, let's say your VBAK or EKKO or EKPO or mean or MARD or MARS table, all these values are tables are there. Okay. But yes, there are changes, as I told you, there are changes in the, the user interface. For example, you wanted to get the report for your, material availability. You want to check the availability of the material, stock requirement, or stock overview, you can say. So how do you see the stock overview? You have to the stock overview for entire plant or specific plant, or stock overview for all the storage location or a specific location in the warehouse. So you can see that. So when you wanted to see those, so you'll be calling the same function module, same body, same BAPI. I mean, as I told you, 80 to 85% are the same. The rest of the 15 to 15% could be changed. Yeah.
Yeah,
there
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree what you told. Yeah. So I mean, I wanted to validate, like for example, like Fiori is a web interface with the HANA, right?
Yeah.
In the if I'm asking to write so for example, open purchase order for certain time limit from X to Y date. Okay, so at that point of time, when it comes to writing a functional spec, right? So we do in the current R3, like we go ahead and give them what is the selection parameters and what is the how they need to fetch the data and everything. That's going to be remaining same like that, or any new components technically we should.
Yeah, it would be more or less 80 to 85% or maximum 90% will be the same. Remaining 10% will be the differences.
All right.
We'll,
Okay.
we'll get to know what are the differences
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah. Okay.
in the function specs.
All right.
Probably I'll be sharing a couple of my design document. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
not now in this point,
Yeah.
during our course of action, course of training. So we'll be sharing a couple of documents, which you can get to know. Okay, oh how the changes happens. Okay, so
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That
okay.
sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So that is the case, like, if you talk about, like, the simple logistic, we have inventory management. So in inventory management, the customer or consumer, my past experiences, I would say share here. So one of the retail client we worked, I mean, it's a purely wholesale customers. It's not a completely retail as a store, because in SAP we have a SAP IS retail box. So here we implement a simple logistic. I mean, logistic was there, then we re-implemented new simple logistics. So we had a challenges, like in the wholesale customer, we had a challenge for all the inventory aggregations. Okay, how best you can aggregate your inventory in terms of your day-to-day requirements. Let's say your requirement planning or replenishment planning. How best you can do. So my question is, I can do it in my like, current scenario, like systems, like current capability, like, ECC or R3 retail or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
why should I use HANA? If I use HANA, what are the benefit to business, and what are the benefit to my, the solutions? For example, I want to provide a solution for simple logistics. Okay, let's go for simple logistics. So why client believe me? Because client has to see the result, right? I mean, it's not like that, okay, SAP is selling product, we have to get and do the implementations. So the question
Mm-hmm.
was, when the customer has questioned us, we had a proof of concept, then we show that, okay, this is the case, this is your present, and this is your process, and this is your output, I mean the future. So they agree, okay, let's go ahead. Well, as you know, the inventory table, for example, we have inventory table called MAKU or MARD or MALB or MCSB. So these tables with the same. So we only retrieve those information from those tables and simplify it into a UI. Okay, customer, so okay, wow, this is the the inventory lookup they call it inventory lookup, and they can see the inventory. Rather they go for MMB or some other things, they go for, okay, this is the way they want to see entire inventory across the plant or across the storage location or across the unit, you can say. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason it has been simplified. So SAP sells, and SAP also gives some value addition to the business process. It's not only
Mm-hmm.
that, SAP come up with some solutions and the consumer customer will be buy, okay, let's buy and let's implement it. It's
Mm-hmm.
basically the TCO and ROI, right? The concepts we call. Every
Right.
ERP works on the TCO and ROI. If you are having more benefit, and will get and use of it. Otherwise, it's no, nothing. It's like a simple software. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see those parameters, and moreover, we'll be talking more into the across module. Basically, the all the three major module, like SD, your sales, you can say your procurement or supply chain, and you can say your production planning and quality management. We'll talk about all. I mean, mostly the three
Okay.
areas. Okay,
Okay.
it's not like that somebody might be have SD area. Okay, he say, oh, why simple logistic benefit to SD, not only MM. So it's not like that. It's like, there is no bifurcation. If you
Mm-hmm.
have knowledge, because as a SD consultant, I started my career in SD and MM consultant, so I got
Mm-hmm.
to know some process with respect to PP and QM. But I can't say I'm a PP consultant, but yes. But when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to simple logistics, I should know each and every actions, right? As a integration point. But
Mm-hmm.
in the simple logistic, if you look into the opportunity, all the
Mm-hmm.
consultants are equally paid. For example, SD with simple logistic, your MM with simple logistic, your PPQM with simple logistic, your simple finance, FI with the simple finance. So these are all equally, responsible for the project delivery. It's not like that one man job. One guy will come and implement everything. It's not possible to manage.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about some business suit. Like, okay.
Harish, Raja here. You are saying that, see, learning, see, as a, for example, I am a consultant. Okay,
Mhm.
knowing about the changes from a different module, how it will benefit to me. See, you are saying simple logistics is nothing but a, I mean, basic introduction about the HANA and then Fury and then changes about the all modules. See, but as a SD consultant, I don't require the changes in a different module, right?
No, no, not required. You are very right. I would believe like you should you are SD consultant or your MM consultant, you should be SD and MM. But when you go for a simple logistic project, you have lots of role to play, right? You'll be playing your role. You'll be playing SD sales order creation, or you will be playing your role with like available to promise or TOR.
See, for example, there are some changes.
Yeah,
there are some changes from the different module called APO or some other module, which I don't know anything about that particular module. How it will get benefit to me? Like,
let me explain.
If you see in a practical way, I don't require all those changes, right?
No. Let me tell you. I mean, let me tell you here. What you should do, for example, when you have a training. I mean, today we are not going to have system-based training. When you have a system-based training, I will be taking care of entire your process. Let's say from your org structure to business process with SD, MM, PP, QM, and WM. Entire one end-to-end cycle. Okay, excluding finance. Because finance we are not covering a simple finance here. We'll be covering standard finance like AR, AP, GL, and the controlling area. When I say you are a SD consultant, what advantage or you get from your simple logistics? Simple logistics is integration between all the module. It's across all the module. The way you learn in SCC, let's say you started with SD, so you got to know, okay, there is a purchase orders, purchase P2P area, there is a P2R area. So you know this area thing, right? The integration part you need to know that. You must have to have integration area. That I am going to teach you, but I'm not saying you should know your PP areas. You should not know PP areas, because let's say if it is requirement planning, how the requirement comes, how the transfer of requirement happens, you should know. How the backorder happens, you should know. But you should not know the complete PP area. You should be in your own, perfect in your own SD area part. But along with that, you should know the simple logistics.
Let me put in this way. So as a consultant, as a SD consultant, after completion of this training and all, I will come to know the changes which has happened in SD area, as well as the basic SAP S4 HANA details, as well as the Fury integration, those things. So after knowing all these few things, I can say about like I am a SAP S4 HANA consultant.
Yes, I mean my way of training with SAP and other clients, I'll tell you, let me tell you in this way. My training is very simple. It's nothing but, let's say when I started my training, I was a SD and MM consultant. So I didn't touch over in PP and QM area. That's the reason my request will be, you should not touch all the areas. Like you should not know PP, QM, what is the functionality happening. Excluding the simple logistic, okay? You should know what is there in simple logistic. I'm telling you.
I think the most specific, the question was like this, I believe. I don't know who asked the question. I think the question was like, are you majorly emphasizing on SD which touch base points to MM, PP, QM? So his main, I think that was the major question, because I come from MMWM, for example. I'm MMWM major. And then my secondary skill set is SD. So, concern what he has raised is right. If you are talking from a SD's perspective, major focus on SD and touch base with MM, WM, PP, and QM, then my goal will not be satisfied. I'm looking for example, like I want to have more emphasis on MM, WM, and SD, then have a touch point with other PPQM stuff. So I think that was the question. Yeah.
Now I got the question very clearly. Yes. My answer is this way. We'll be touch base with all the modules, okay, with integration, and we'll be more talking on the simple logistic, not only SD or MM or QM, WM. Even if you ask me what is the QM process, I will not able to say what is the QM process. If you ask me MMWM, yes, I would say yes. If you ask me SD, yes. But if you ask me simple logistic, I will say yes, because I had been to implementation, I had been to training, so I had been to simple logistic as a solution architect, so I'll be taking care of simple logistics more. I'll be not going to teach you individually for SD, for the PP or
Okay.
QM. I'll be teaching you everybody into the simple logistics. My answer is
Okay.
that. Is it? I mean, am I clarify your questions, or do you need more clarity on this?
I think
Hello.
I'm good. I think I'm
Okay.
good because what I understood from your answer is that we are all known consultants working in their respective fields. We all know
Right.
our areas more better. Then you will be covering it like how the simple logistics covers all this area and what are all the major touch points in each module.
Each module,
Not
yes.
not not process wise, but the technical changes or the function or any changes which comprises in simple logistics.
Yes, including process also. I mean, I have I worked on completely
Hmm.
end-to-end cycle, so I know the process, what are the changes. But again, the process could be dependent on the one client, specific client. As I told you, I work with one of the manufacturing and one of the oil industry, so I'll be knowing those processes. If you talk
Okay.
about completely computer discrete manufacturing industry, the process for simple logistics will be different. But the base, the core is the same. Core means 80 to 90% process will be the same. Remaining,
Hmm.
let's say 20 to let's say 10 to 20% process will be different. So that changes also we can talk. Okay, don't worry guys, it's very simple. Be your master in your own areas and try to check knowledge and the other integration point. So for example, tomorrow you are going to present yourself as a simple logistic architect or consultant. What do you say? Your background is SD, so you already have a knowledge or you already have worked on simple logistics. So you should say you know the simple logistic process, how it works and how it integrates to other modules. You should not say you are a PP consultant with, I mean, though you are a core SD, but you can't say you are a PP and QM all in all, right?
Right.
So yeah. Okay, so okay, so what are the changes does you guys have any knowledge like what are the changes Simple Logistics have? How the MRP life cycle happen? What are the MRP live? What are the, your ATP check, or you can say the workbench? Do you know what are the changes have, there in Simple Logistics?
No.
Okay, let me tell you the course content which you have. I think you guys have the version on the website. You have seen that? Okay, let me just simplify you the course content. What we are going to teach you. We are going to tell you all this the basic like master data with respect to all like master data for your material master, your customer master, your pricing condition, your product catalog, your MDM integration, your SRM, your all this like functionality, your EDI function like DevMass, CleanMass, MatMass, whatever. Okay, and your batch management to logistic part, all the master data with respect to SD, MM, QM, PP, and your WM. Okay, all the master data. Nothing is to be left with the master data because master data is more important and master data I should know this. And with respect to a simple logistics, what are the changes happen? Okay, and apart from that master data, we have to cover the basic business functions like SD functions. Okay, if you talk about SD function, what are the differences like rate management, your GTS, your different billing, and you can say your like ATP, how the ATP works, or the MRP live works in the SD area also we're going to touch. And apart from that, we are going to talk about the customer services. Okay, the different interaction center, like it's again talking about a bit on the CRM part. And your procurement, when I talk about procurement, we need to understand what is the procurement, the process cycle, how the procurement works in the simple logistics, what are the challenges and the key benefit for the simple logistics in MM area. Okay, and moreover, it is also linked to our web catalog, like product catalog internet-based applications. Okay, you can say IAS, sorry, IAC, and we have different like foreign trade agreement with the the S4 HANA procurements. So we'll take care of that. And when I say ATP, as you know, ATP available to promise. So ATP is again it's a totally different than ECC. Okay, so we need to talk about ATP. I'll run a complete ATP cycle from your procurement to sales. You know,
Mm-hmm.
touch point, and based on the touch point, we can talk about the ATP complete ATP life cycles. Okay, then in logistic environment, there are some changes in the ECH, like sorry EHS, like environmental health safety. But I'm not going to teach you the EHS because EHS is just simple. It's not that big for the simple logistics. It's the same basic. Okay, and there is a new concept. I mean, it's like in a cascade into simple logistics that is called global trade management. So global trade management, we need to cover up that logistic part, like MMIM, how the transaction happens, what is the material valuation, and all part. And PLM is very just like common, same features PLM we have, the product lifecycle management, and access control management. We have like all the access based. It's again your portal, you can say. And the PP part I'm going to cover you completely, like MRP life cycle, software netting, and your MRP, your production planning. PP, I have a good knowledge in the PP area. I mean core PP as well as the simple logistics. So we'll cover completely PP. Okay, and these are all like you can say the production plannings PP. So I'm going to cover you completely PP life cycle, PP, MM, and SD with WMs. The PS not much into the logistic part. What are the touch point? I can tell you the logistic PS, like the project systems and different project activity planning. Okay, not much into the simple logistics. It's very similar to your ECC. Okay, and plant maintenance. Yes, we need to cover up the plant maintenance, like different asset man. Enterprise asset management EAM is there. So EAM is very different in the standard ECC with respect to simple logistics. And for the transportation point of view, like you can say the part of EWM, so which is a common play the vital role in the simple logistics. So we can cover that EWM parts. Okay, basically it's like WM and EWM components, and we need to talk about that only. And besides that, we'll more talking in the project life cycle. So how is the simple logistic work in the projects? So for example, my key project implementation, I can share you a couple of like blueprint session, documentation, and the scenario. What scenario comes to the currently happen in the ECC, and how best we address into simple logistics, and moreover into the real-time project experiences. Not like real project I can't show you, but yes, it is the project which I worked upon the client, the global clients.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the interaction, and we'll be having the Fiori, the functionality of Fiori and UI5, not technical but functionality, like how to design your own tile, Fiori, UI, and other things. It's available in the web also. You can learn from Fiori designing. It's very simple on the SAP sites. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So don't we have QM?
Oh yes, we have a QM. I don't know this. Like this slide doesn't have a QM components here, but we have a QM.
And
Yes.
and this one was not showing full MM also, right?
Yeah, full MM was not showing. It is more into PP part he added,
Yeah.
but I don't know. But anyway, I am going to share you the new course content. I mean the same content with some additions. In fact, I have my own materials which I can share you everything whatever there in the content.
Mm-hmm.
Is in the revenue recognition with the simple logistics.
Yes, we have.
35 hours we have, I think we'll be able to cover it.
30-35 hours will be not sufficient, I will believe. But of course, yes. I mean, I already have the scenario in the customized, so I can show you that scenario. But when you do your own practice, it needs lots of time. So you have to take your time and do practice from beginning. Let's enterprise structure to till your your own process, including your cycle, like sales cycle, material management cycle, or you can say PP cycles. So it won't cover not less than 70-80 hours. I mean, if you wanted to be doing all the configuration across the modules. So minimum to minimum would be 70 hours would be required. So, but we'll see how best we can, cope up with all. So we'll see that. But if you want me to show you the one end-to-end life cycle, I have already pre-configured scenario. I can show you the one end-to-end life cycles. Okay, this is the way you do implementation. This is the way you have next session, next session, next session.
So are you going to take an approach of full cycle, or you are going to take the approach of module, the content that you show?
I'll be going to have a
UI, user interface.
Mm-hmm.
What are the changes? Like, see, the database is Hana, that's fine. The user interface, yeah, we'll have user interface, that's fine.
I would say.
What are the?
I would say. Yeah, I would say the key innovation like they have is one is your MRP is more changes. Your inventory visibility, the more changes. Your material valuation will be more changes. Your ATP backward processing, there is a changes. Your PPQM capacity planning, there is a changes. So these are the changes touch point they have. Your order management billing, they have changes. Okay, and your you can say changes related to your procurement side, like there are changes. So there are process innovation changes now Simple Logistics have. Okay, with respect to your Simple Logistics platform, there will be process related changes we're having. Okay.
So after this training completion, can we say SAP QM consultant with Simple Logistics?
Of course, you have to say that. I mean, of course, you can put in that you are a QM consultant by background and you are a Simple Logistic expert in this. So all the Simple Logistic consultants are nothing but is a combination of your QM, MM, all logistic consultants. So you cannot be a simple finance, but you can say you are a Simple Logistics because you are a logistic model. You are the one of the member of the logistic group, right?
So with this upgrade, it is just not only the database, it's also a process improvement.
Exactly, it is not only the database. Database is smoother and faster, but the process, of course, yes, the process, backended by database, right? So process innovation is there. There are lots of, you can see that 20-25% you can see there is a change. There is a faster for the changes. If you look into, have you heard that one of the module called FMS, Fashion Management Solutions? So it is again integrations. So they integrate with retail, AFS, they come up with a new solution called FMS. So similarly.
So with this S4 Simple Logistics, once implemented, there won't be any ECC. There is not two systems, right? There will be
unique systems. There will be unique systems. Yes, you will be able to access in your Simple Logistics systems.
Right, but there is no two different things exist, ECC and this. You are basically upgrading ECC into this, right?
Right, you are right. Because I have seen a few clients, they look into their ECC and they call as front-ended by Simple Logistics and back-end by ECC. Because the entire data migration takes some time, right? It's not a easy job. It's a very tedious job to migrating the data from one to other system. Okay, so do you have any other questions?
So if client wants to have the Simple Logistics, then the landscape will get changed, right?
Yeah, the landscape will be basically it's like SAP sell their Simple Logistics RDS solutions, like rapid deployment solutions. So in solution itself, they'll give us a landscape like landscape structure or architect. Based on the landscape structure and architect, so there'll be the different roadmaps, like the same SAP methodology, but you can plan your own roadmap, like HANA database will be, yeah.
Okay, for example, if my client has now, I mean, ECC 6.0. If he wants to have simple logistics, then that ECC 6.0 will not be there. Only the
No,
new simple logistics landscape, right?
but during, yeah, you will have simple logistic landscape. During the course of implementation, you should have the CCC as the simple logistics, but it will be migrated into
Okay.
simple logistics. Because your your existing process will be the simple standard ECC, right? It can't be immediately vanished, but you wanted to keep for some some period, because my last client, they're continuing it, because it's all this business with the legacy, they call legacy, and they call the new system the migrated into the simple logistics platform. But
So can we say in future there will be no ECC?
I believe not immediately now, after you can say during these 10 years, but of course, yes, more than 10 years there will be no ECC. It should be everybody has to go in the simple logistics. SAP will be stop selling the license of simple logistics. I mean ECC, standard ECC. They'll go for more into ECC simple logistics. I work for SAP, so that's the way. I mean, we used to call people. I don't know, so whether they'll keep it or they'll sell it to some other, box.
So with the migration, so the whole traditional database data will be migrated, or is it kind of a
It is like it's a database. There are different migration tools available in the market. So even SAP sell them pretty well. So I believe it's easy. I mean, don't worry about the database migration. I mean, it's very easy to migrate the data. As long as you have a good platform, so it's easy to, I mean, typically a consultant is required. Consultant or support.
I'm not worried about the data, because the client has to worry about data.
In my
The idea is that
my experience is like it's easy to, because the same tool, right? It's SAP to SAP. It's not an other tool.
I'm saying in terms of implementation, is that a two-step approach of a complete data migration from the traditional database into the S4, and then also at the meantime doing the new functionality, activating the new functionality of the.
It's like yeah, you are right. I mean the same approach people follows, two-step approach. One is you have to activate your business function with respect to simple logistics, and second way is you have to take care of your database like legacy to your the new systems like simple logistics platform. So there are two-type approach, but I have seen like SAP RDS is there, RDS for simple logistics. If you go, I mean your future client who is implementing simple logistics, you can see the RDS has lots of easiest way to maintain that. So I mean parallelly you can do your things.
Listeners, thanks a lot for watching this demo video. For more information or else for registration, you can directly contact us on info@globalonlinetrainings.com, or else you can directly call us on the registered number, that is 4060501418. Thank you.